Very few people know this about me, but there was a time in my life where I gave up completely on all of this. Everything that I do now, the fitness coaching, the posting content, I threw it all out the window because I failed. Gave me crippling anxiety, and I was a nervous wreck for a really long time, and all of that stress really played a part in sort of culminating in me just making the decision, I'm just gonna go home, even though now I'm stuck with this like terrible feeling that, you know, I feel like I've sort of gone backwards, which is, it's not a good feeling at all. I moved all the way across the country back in 2020 when I was 20 years old. I had started picking up some traction on social media, specifically on TikTok. I was posting fitness content. I was starting to get likes and views and things along those lines. And I thought, I need to capitalize on this momentum. And so what I did was I got together with a couple of other influencers and I said, hey, we need to all move into a house together and we need to try to make it. Whether it's through fitness coaching or getting sponsored by different brands, this is our time. And I was so excited. There was such a passion inside of me. I really thought that it was going to work. Fast forward the clock, 8 months later, I ended up having to move back across the country, move back in with my parents, and go back to the job that I had quit and ask them for my position back. It was the most humiliated I've ever felt in my life. It was the most alone that I've ever felt in my life. I specifically remembered feeling so emotionless to the point where pain was the only thing that really woke me up. It was destroying my body in the gym. And it even got to the point where I would smash my head up against the shower because it was like the only thing that I could do to actually feel something. But here's the deal. So many people don't know this about me. They see me and the content that I post now, the business that I've built now, and they would never guess that at one point I completely quit it all. All of it. Everybody looks at me and they say, Brandon, you don't know what it's like to start at the bottom. You don't know what it's like to be bad at speaking on camera. You don't know what it's like to not be able to build up any momentum and just try again and fail. I know exactly what all of that is like. I've done it in this exact context that I do it now every single day and make millions of dollars. There was one point where I was completely broke. I didn't make any money for 8 straight months because I was so bad at monetizing content. I was so bad at sales. I did not understand how to properly build a business. But I fully sent it. The heart was there. And I really thought that the heart was all it was going to take. But the truth is, you need a lot more than heart and passion in order to actually make money, in order to actually be successful. You actually have to play smart or you are going to get crushed. On YouTube, go back and watch my video from 6 years ago titled No More Swole House. Go watch it. You will look and see a 20-year-old Brandon who was crushed, who was heartbroken, who was so incredibly infuriated with himself because I thought I would be able to make it work. If I bet on myself, if I bet on my work ethic, I would be able to do it. But I ran straight into a brick wall. I couldn't get anywhere. And the only option was to go back to everything that I had done before. I was so depressed during this time that a couple months after coming home, I had a friend who offered to take me out to lunch. And on that lunch that we were having, he told me, he said, Brandon, I know what you've been through. I know that you went all the way down to Texas and that everything fell through and that everything that you wanted to achieve has just been kind of flushed down the toilet. But you have a gift for this, man. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. I was literally thinking, okay, at this job, if I put in my absolute max effort, I don't have a college degree, I might be able 20 years from now to be making $100,000 a year at this manufacturing job. If I work my way up slowly, I'll eventually get to the point where I'm making six figures in this business. That was my thought process. I had completely given up on monetizing social media and content altogether, whether it was through fitness coaching or sponsorships. I had completely thrown in the towel. And even when my friend, who believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time, came to me and said, Brandon, you need to keep going. I don't give a shit. If you failed once, you have to try again. I told him no. That's how down bad I was. That's how upset I was with myself. That's how bitter I was. I said, no, I am not going to continue. And I stayed at that job for another year and a half before I finally grew a pair of balls and actually decided to quit. And that comfortable lifestyle, the thought of just like becoming an average dude, somebody that didn't have any goals and aspirations and would go to work, go to the gym, and then just go home and watch TV and scroll, that was exactly what I planned to do essentially for the rest of my life. But as time went on, I started to realize that the fire came back. It did. Because I didn't close the door on it fully. Because I knew that there had to be something more than just that life. There was this feeling inside of me where I couldn't just settle. I couldn't just sit around and wait 20 years in order to make six figures at a company. I couldn't just sit around and wait when I had tried something before, and yeah, it had failed, but at the same time, maybe there was something else that I could have done differently. Because the truth is, I was watching all of these other people succeed on social media. Every single day, I would watch another person do exactly what I wanted to do. And so it's possible. I knew that. And so the desire started to well up within me again. And I thought back to the words that my friend had told me at lunch. He'd said, Brandon, you need to give it another go. You need to try again. And eventually I did. And it was the second time around that I actually quit my job. I genuinely thought I was going to fail again at multiple points along the road. And yet I still continued. I still stayed consistent. And it's so funny to me because people don't see these points. They only see the end product. They only see how I've posted 1,000+ YouTube videos on my YouTube channel. They go through the most recent ones and they see that they've got views. They see that they've got attention, that they've got comments, but they don't see all of the ones that I posted for years that got absolutely no love, no traction. All of the posts that I made on Instagram that did not get any likes. All of the posts that I put up on Instagram that caught me slack from the people around me. That I had people in my town like spreading rumors about me, talking shit about me. Nobody ever sees that stuff. I've literally been to the point where I had completely given up. I genuinely thought I was never ever going to do it again. And yet I still am where I am today because everybody can do it. Everybody can go out and achieve exactly what they want if they're willing to put the work in. If they're willing to not accept a first failure as the end of the road. That's the truth. So many people out there who try, whether it's in business, in posting on social media, or trying to accomplish something great. I don't know, if it's a bodybuilding show, if you're a power lifter, if you're somebody who just has goals and aspirations, you are going to eat shit at a point in your life. And oh my goodness, when I tried my second time to get this ball rolling again, boy, did I eat shit. For months, for years. So many failed sales calls. So many sales calls that I think of right now and I just cringe. I think, how in the world was I so incredibly bad at selling my fitness coaching? So many videos I look back on and I think, how was I so incredibly bad at speaking to the camera? How did I not understand how to properly create my funnel, how to properly market? I look back on my 20, 21, and 22-year-old self and I'm like, that guy was an absolute idiot. He didn't know anything about life, about business, about sales, and yet I thought I did. If you had asked me during the time, I would have said, yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good at those things. But you can only eat shit for so long before you realize, oh, actually, I absolutely suck at these things. And it's up to me to go out and try to get better. Nobody else is coming to save you. Absolutely nobody. I've been through the shame. I've been through the pain. And it genuinely breaks my heart watching other people give up on their dreams and try to escape through using substances. Whether it's weed or alcohol, whether it's video games, whether it's scrolling, whether it's TV, whether it's food, what you will see is somebody will try, and once they try and then they fail, they decide, hey, I'm going to live out this other life that I didn't want to live. And the only way that I can live that life is if I crush that fire that eventually is going to start burning inside of me to try again, to fail again. And the only way that you can really crush that fire, the best way to do it, the way that you can suffocate it and leave yourself on a track to mediocrity, on the path to nowhere, and even feeling decently content while doing it, is by drinking. It's by smoking. It's by doing absolutely everything you possibly can to distract yourself from your own reality. And that's the reality that most people are living in. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be okay with the situation that they're in, when in reality they know that there's something inside of them that's calling them to something greater, to work harder, to put more effort in, to tap into their talents and actually utilize them in a way that is not only going to benefit themselves, but other people as well. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. I'll go even deeper into the story in a couple of YouTube videos that I'll probably be posting in the next couple weeks. But if you enjoyed, drop a like down below. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you watched all the way through to the end of this video. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.